Hi guys, welcome to 'Cause We Can Farms. Thanks for coming and hanging out with us today. We decided to take a little break from working on the barn and try to get the solar shed ready for some rain that we had coming in. We expected about 4 days of rain, and the humidity was really high and the heat got really high. So basically we only got hot. We didn't really get any rain, which was a big bummer. But we did get to finish up the roof here on the shed and start adding the sides. We spent about 2 days working really hard, trying to get some things done. We got our solar shed cleared out and then basically worked on this, prepping for rain. So I have to say, working with pallets, this is not something that I've done a lot in the past. So I'm just kind of in my head, I see how things should go, and that makes sense to me. And then I just try to take it from what I have in my head and actually put it together and make it work. So basically, poor Kimmy, I can't pre-tell her what I'm doing. I just look at it, put something together, and then try to throw that up and make it work. I know that there is definitely a learning curve to working with pallets and building buildings and making those square and making those actually fit. The only way that you can do that is to just get started and do it. So that's basically what we've done with this shed. Long term, this shed is actually going to be a garden shed to hold shovels and rakes and gloves and that kind of stuff. It is 4 feet by 4 feet, and I think it's going to be absolutely perfect for that. Short term, it's going to hold the solar components, and I'm hoping next year to expand the solar system and, you know, kind of do something completely different. But for now, this is something that we can put up and still use in the future, so we won't have to just tear it down and start over with something else. So one of the things that we really wanted to do was make sure that this was very insulated. So we have insulated the floor, we've insulated the walls, we've insulated the ceiling, and, you know, we did also go ahead and insulate the doors. All of this material was basically reused material. Very few things were purchased new. So in general, that made this basically a free building that we could do to get these components out of the weather and in an insulated building. So as we were working on this, we were hoping to really get it finished, but what ended up happening was the rain started coming, and we did just basically get a sprinkle. It looked like it was going to downpour on us, but it did not end up doing that. So as much as I wanted to get this building finished, I did not. We will have to come back and continue to work. One of the things that we do in the summertime, as soon as it starts getting hot, is we shade hop. So anywhere that we're working and building on something and there's shade, that is where we go work. So we basically have about 3 projects going on at one time. So when each area is shaded, that's when we go work on that, so that we can continue to get as much done through each day as we can, because our build season here is pretty short. There are some things that we'll be able to finish out in the winter, which is kind of why we're not working on them now, which is our tiny house, shipping container tiny house. I'm really getting ready for the weather to cool down. We've been really blessed this year by not having extreme heat. We do have a heat wave that is coming, but it's very short. It's about a week, and that's about it. So we are very blessed with the weather that we do have here in the summertime. it does get very cold in the wintertime, so we have to be prepared for that. So we had a bit of a visit from my grandson and my daughter-in-law's sister. I showed her around while Kimmy continued to work on insulating our DIY doors.
It's nice that we got the insulation in there now.
Yeah, it is.
It fits like a glove.
It does. It's going to be great. We decided to go ahead and frame both sides. I don't think we filmed the other side, but it's the same as the other. And now we're doing the doors. We may actually get this thing closed up today. I'm excited.
Me too.
I'm excited to move on to something else.
Same.
And finish something, because I know that bothers all of you.
Yeah.
We should change our name from 'Cause We Can Farms to Stage 1, 2, and 3 Farm.
One day it'll be 'Cause We Did.
Because we did. Exactly. Bam.
Wait, why are we taking that off? We just put that up.
But I made it way too snug. Now our door won't sit in there. Because this isn't perfect. See, there's a little bit of overlap there.
Don't tell people that.
I don't know. Hold on. Whoops. Go in there, sir. I have a feeling I'm going to have to trim this up a little bit because it won't fit in there. All right. This whole building with pallets thing is, I think, a lot more work than if you were to just regularly frame it. I mean, you do save some money. It's a lot more work. But look at how much that one cants off to the side. But it is a square door. It's weird.
Look at that. We got 2 insulated doors.
Yeah, and they are heavy. Just ask Kimmy's foot.
Yeah, when we were putting this one in, it slipped. She did say, watch out for the door, but I didn't realize that she meant like where I was actually at and landed square on my foot, so I had an instant bruise. It's pretty heavy.
It's pretty nasty.
So we did that together, and then I had my foot way down here when it happened, so.
Yeah. We're going to need something for this to sit on while it's held open.
You're a beast. Look at you.
That's right. Men, you should like those sturdy girls.
Yeah.
They can do things like move doors.
I better put this down and help her.
No, we really enjoy doing what we're doing. And one of the things that we make sure that every single day we laugh and that we enjoy this journey. It gets very easy to get sucked into how much work there is and how hard everything can be. And being that we're learning as we're going, you know, things are pretty hard for us that would be very simple for someone else. But every project that we do, we learn more and more, and we get better and better. And, you know, eventually we'll have this homestead finished and we'll be just doing maintenance stuff. So I'm really excited that this is the life that I get to live, and it is really hard, and it's not your average retirement situation for somebody, but we are absolutely enjoying it, and we are so grateful that you guys have come along with us and that you follow our journey and support us in every way that you do. So I just wanted to say thank you to all of you that are our ride and dies that we see on every video, leaving comments, chatting with us, showing up to our lives that we do. We just really appreciate you guys, and we really look forward to chatting with you every week and every day in the comments. At the end of this video, we're going to give you a little bit of a rundown on how the system has been working for us. And, you know, I hope you enjoyed. If you have any suggestions or comments, please leave them for me, because as you know, those of you that have been following us, this is all very new for me, and I'm learning as I go. Thank you, guys.
Good morning, everybody. We are going to walk you through our solar system attempt. And I say attempt for a reason. That one lost its mom. Okay, you guys, if you watched our last video, you saw that we set up 4 solar systems. This actually came in a kit. So it was the solar panels and the wind turbine. And it came with a charge controller.
Right.
And most of the wiring.
Correct.
And these are 200 watts, almost
195
okay.
each.
Yeah. Okay. So we basically have almost 800 watts coming out of here. And then when the wind is blowing, you can get, what was it, up to 500 watts?
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's a 1200 watt system.
Right.
So what has actually happened is as soon as we put up the wind turbine, we then got no wind. And apparently this is a thing, because every channel that I watched that has put up a wind turbine says the first week or so that they put up their wind turbine, they had no wind. So we tell God our plans and he laughs. But in all reality for us, the wind turbine is mostly for our winter time electricity, because we do get a lot of wind in the winter and we get a lot less sun. We are here in North Idaho and it gets very cold and it's very gray and all of those things. So the wind turbine idea was something that could helpfully
Supplement that
exactly
in the winter.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So we do want to see it work. We just haven't been able to see it work. So a couple of things that I do know, we've had some really good wind days, a couple that have come up, but we're definitely not tall enough. This was a test to see if we could get wind at this state. Now, let me take you back behind here so you can see what's going on behind the solar system.
As you can see, we've cleared all this stuff out. The plan is we're going to clear all the way back, so there will be none of this in here, so that way we can move the solar system back, the solar panels back a bit further, and hopefully add on down the road.
So we're thinking it's probably going to be at least 100 feet, where back behind where those trees are down. Let me point back here. They'll actually be, let me come stand by you so it's not me yelling at them from behind the camera.
Okay, so the plan is there'll be a cross fencing all the way across. This is a 200 by 200 section, 10 yard, whatever you want to call it. We do have goats. You guys hear them in the background. And on this side of the fence will be our solar system, our gardens, our greenhouse, all of those things. And on the other side of the fence will be goat barns and a little pasture for them. And the reason why we're showing it to you in this particular video is the plan, once that fence line goes up, is we're going to put our solar panels in a very similar fashion that we have right now, but hopefully we'll be able to adjust them.
Yeah.
We do want to look at an adjustable thing. They'll be completely out of the shade. And because it's such a cleared area, as we have found over by our sawmill, the wind can get really kicked up in there. So we may actually end up adding multiple wind turbines. So this is our tiny little solar shed, and it is insulated. The floor is insulated, the walls are insulated, the ceiling's insulated, and we made this out of pallets. It's quite a bit harder building a solar shed out of anything out of pallets.
Yeah, if we would have done it over again, we would just frame it ourselves.
Yeah. The thing is the pallets were free, and and so if you're dealing with the type of budget that we have, free is good. So we do have some things that we have to finish on this up here. We had expected a big rain dump. We did not get it, and now we're in a heat wave. So the last thing we want to do is be out here working on this. But and we do have our extremely dangerous insulated door.
It is a beast. I can tell you from experience, because when we were installing it, Heather had said, watch out, it might slip. I didn't realize she meant it might land on my foot, which then it did.
So, but this is a 4x4 building, and inside here we have our inverter, our charge controller, all of the wiring, and unfortunately we're down to one battery.
Yeah, we've had some issues with batteries.
This has been our biggest problem. So the first day we set this up, everything worked really, really well, and it was just it was so beautiful. It was like, oh, solar's amazing.
No more generator. It's awesome.
We partied prematurely. Because then by the next day, the batteries were no longer participating in our epic event. And we realized these batteries are much older. I actually bought the batteries and some solar panels from a gentleman who was upgrading his system. And because I'm building here on raw land, and I didn't have a bunch of insulated areas, the batteries got cold, and so they're no longer holding a charge. That being said, they were 15-year-old batteries, so they were on their way out anyway. But it's a big bummer, because I had 6 of those big batteries, and
Behemoth heavy batteries.
90-pound batteries, and they no longer work at all. And then our friends Kelly and Dwayne over at
Deer Haven Off-Grid Homestead
had some extra batteries that they were gifting us, and unfortunately we found out that those are also in the same situation.
Not working.
So, as I said, we're down to one battery. We had a company reach out to us that has a lithium battery. It is a 100-watt battery, and I'll give you all the information at the end of this video. So we have that one hooked up. We definitely wanted to go into lithium batteries anyway. The big issue is the cost, and the cool thing about these is they're not very expensive. In fact, right now as we speak, what is today, August 15th? They are on sale for $269 a piece. They're 100 watts.
I think there's also a coupon on them.
There is a coupon.
If I remember correctly.
That doesn't go with that sale.
Oh,
so that's
gotcha.
if they're regular amount, you can
Gotcha.
get the coupon. But they just did a summer sale, I think, for the next couple of weeks, that you can get those for $269 a piece. I wish we had $1,000 that we could just go purchase them, but we don't. So we'll be building this system hopefully before winter gets here to get us enough capacity to hold the power that we need for
The system.
evenings in the system. So as excited as we were for our solar to be set up, it's it is working. It's just not providing for the needs that we need because we don't have the battery system that can hold it. So as most of you know, inside the house we have a Bluetti, and then we also have a U-Green solar generator, or what the power stations, or what those are called.
TURBINE.
And those are what we use all in the house for all of our electricity needs, and we just have to keep those powered up. And so what's trauma in the rabbit yard. And so what's been happening is basically we shut everything down in the evening time. We no longer pull from this particular battery, and then we just use that. We either have to turn on the generator, charge it to 100%, and then we can plug it in and keep it charged at 100% all day long. And that's kind of been our method to our madness.
We then hook it up to the solar and just let it throughout the day when the sun is.
So we are using the generator a lot less.
Yeah.
It's just not 100%.
Someday.
Yes.
Someday.
And like when we transfer water and stuff, we have to use the generator still. So that's a bummer. But I did purchase a new charge controller that can show us how much power is coming in from the solar system and the wind turbine.
Combined, right?
Well, it'll show you individually.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, it's supposed to show you individually what's coming from where. So the goal is we are going to have to, the wind turbine's up about 15 feet right now, and we're just going to do 10-foot increments because it's extremely difficult to get this up really high.
And one of the issues that I don't believe Heather mentioned was when we got this kit, it came with the wiring like she said, but the wiring wasn't quite long enough for that wind turbine. It only went up how many feet as far as the wiring goes?
It's 15 feet up high, and I think I think this was 29 feet. The wiring was 29 feet total.
So it's not going to reach high enough and be able to come to the inverter.
Yeah, so we could get it up there 29 feet and then connect from it. So that's the kind of wire that we need. We need to find extension stuff for the wire. We need to purchase that. Yeah. And the fact that we're going back out 100 feet. So this is what will end up happening with our system is we will end up 30 feet up in the air. We have a whole different base that we're going to be doing for that. This windmill base that we did is one because it's in the garden and we like it and it'll stay here and we'll plant something off of it or whatever, but that will not move into the back. We'll end up doing a T post is I guess what it is. So you go up your 30 feet and then you have bars that go out and then you have guide wires that hold it. So I'll put a link. One of my subscribers, thank you KJ, found this for me and sent it to me, and this is how we're going to do it. There wasn't a lot that was showing how to put these wind turbines up and what to do. So I spent a lot of time trying to figure that out.
And we were really hoping that this would work and we wouldn't have to go up much higher, but obviously out here we do.
And
if we were with the sawmill though, that would be a different story.
The sawmill
altogether.
we could keep them this length, this height, and they'd be just fine. And that is also a possibility in the future. We will be having a system out there with the shop and the sawmill so that we have power out there too. And we really probably will have quite a few of these wind turbines throughout the property. We just need to make sure that they work really well, but we do need to set them up to succeed. And right now it's not been set up
and
to
succeed. Fairly inexpensive, right? It's the wiring that's expensive. It's not the wind turbine itself.
The wind turbine itself you can find between $150 to $350, you know, depending upon which place you look at. So they're not really expensive and you can add them pretty easily to your system. So as far, if you're comparing the price between a wind turbine and, you know, 500 watts of solar panels, if you get enough wind, then that would be the way to go versus adding more panels. So, you know, if you think about it, so If we say this system cost how much? Because Kim bought this system a couple years ago.
If I remember correctly, and I could be off a little bit, but I think it was right around $1,200.
Okay, so if we assume that cost, let's just say $300, we're now looking at $900 for the 4 panels, and we could easily add for $900 3 turbines, which could then eventually could potentially get you 1,500 watts of power, and that is something that is legitimate over there. We have a lot of tree blockage here, and that's part of this clearing out and then going up higher. We can't go up too high. One of the things that I've seen with people is that they've gone up really high, they haven't braced well enough, which is why I did this, and their pole does this and it breaks their wind turbine. So this turbine and most turbines have a braking system that's through the charge controller. You have to get a specific charge controller, an MPPT charge controller that has a braking system in it, so that if your batteries are full, it will not turn. If the wind is too hard, it will not turn. So that'll protect it. But I did watch a guy who put his up, and his was like because he had 65 mile an hour wind. So
which we get really high winds almost like that over at the sawmill, and we get a ton of sun.
Yeah.
But you might ask why we are not setting up out there, and it's mostly cost because of the wiring and how far that wiring would have to go.
Yeah, I think we would probably have to go at least 500 feet. So that's a lot with the wiring.
Yes.
But we will be continuing with this system, and we will definitely take you guys along. So thank you for all the support, for everybody that watches us and has been interested and has asked about this system. I think the next biggest move for us is 1, putting in the new charge controller, and 2, going higher with the windmill. We have had some days with wind.
Yeah.
It just hasn't been high enough. So I think we're going to have to do 30 feet